Okay, today I'll be predicting the Detroit Lions record prediction. So looking at the roster, I think the Lions offense is very, very good. Their offensive line is still one of the best, even if they lost Jonah Jackson, they replaced him with Kevin Zeitler. Goff is a above average quarterback and they have a great running back room. I am slightly worried about their wide receiving room. Other than Amon Ra, I don't really trust any of the other guys. And on defense, they did bring in a couple of new pieces, like obviously trading for Carlton Davis and getting Marcus Davenport. However, the defensive line I'm still not too sure of. Other than Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport really isn't that reliable, and they don't really. DJ Reader is good, but not on the pass rushing end. Their linebackers are okay, I guess, as long as Jack Campbell shows improvement. Secondary, I'm still slightly worried about relying on Arnold, the rookie, and Kirby Joseph, which is okay, but not outstanding or anything. But you have your first game versus the Rams, obviously a wild card rematch, a Stafford Goff rematch. Lions definitely have home field advantage. The Rams are a good team, but I think they're still relying on second year players to develop a little bit. And I feel like Lions have a more well established team, so I'm taking the Lions here. And you have week two versus the Bucks. Both teams to me are on the weaker end when it comes to defenses, but the Lions tried to improve their defense while the Bucks to me really didn't. And I think the Lions offense will go right through that Bucks defense, while the Lions defense will do just enough. So I'm taking take the Lions here. Then week three versus the Cardinals. Cardinals usually play the Lions pretty good. I think the last time they played, they tied or something like that. But I don't think the Cardinals are talented at all. So I'm gonna take the Lions here. And you have week four versus Seahawks, another team that plays the Lions well. The past 2 years they played, it's been a shootout with the Lions winning last year, and I expect another shootout this year. Even though the Seahawks really didn't improve too much, they still have a very lethal offense. Lions also have a very lethal offense. Seahawks defense isn't bad per se, neither is the Lions. I think Goff is better than Geno Smith, and Lions still have home field advantage, but I think the Seahawks just play better against the Lions, so I'm taking the Seahawks in an upset. Then you have your week six versus week five buying in a game versus the Cowboys. Cowboys are a very good, talented team. Dak is still there, CD is still there, but they really didn't improve either. And last year the game was really close, and I think the Lions, with their slightly improved defense, will be able to avenge that loss. So I'm taking the Lions here. Then you have them versus the Vikings. Vikings, I don't trust the Vikings at all. JJ McCarthy's probably going to be starting, and I think he's going to struggle a little bit. And as long as Goff doesn't succumb to Brian Flores' blitz heavy defense, I'm going to take the Lions. Then you have week 8 versus the Titans. Titans, um, they are an improved team, so definitely a trap game for the Lions. Their defense even wasn't great. They still have some special guys like Jeffrey Simmons, and they did bring Calvin Ridley, but I don't see the Lions falling into that trap. Their team is too talented to fall into that trap. I'm going to take the Lions here. They have week 9 game versus the Packers, a very good game. This is going to be a very good series. Packers, they have a very young team relying on those second year players to take the jump. Jordan Love, guys like Reed or Dobbs. Their defense should be good as long as Jair Alexander is there. It's going to be a close game regardless, but I think Packers with the home field advantage. I'm going to take the Packers here. Then you have week 10 versus the Texans, another very good game. Obviously, Texans improved greatly, especially bringing in guys like Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. CJ Stroud is also there. I just can't trust the Lions defense versus that trio of wide receivers, so I'm taking the Texans. Then you have them versus the Jaguars. Jaguars lost Calvin Ridley. They didn't really improve that much. I don't really like Trevor Lawrence, and I don't think the Jaguars have enough firepower to keep up with the Lions, so I'm taking the Lions here. Then you have Week 12 versus the Colts. Definitely a trap game for the Lions. Colts definitely have pieces like DeForest Buckner, Anthony Richardson should be back, and um, Nicole Pittman is still good, but they just don't have, they just aren't established. Like, Colts to me are very, very like prove it team right now, so I'm still going to take the Lions. Then you have Week 13 versus the Bears. Bears, they did definitely improve. Their defense improved late last year, and Caleb Williams should be better than Fields, but I think it's too much of a hurdle beating Lions at home on a short week. Lions are just too talented right now. With a home field advantage, I'm take the Lions. Then week 14 versus the Packers, both coming off mini buys. Back-to-back Thursday nighters. Like I said previously, Packers are a very good team, and I don't see them sweeping the Lions, so I'm taking the Lions here. Then week 15 versus the Bills. Bills, another team that's very, very good. I think Josh Allen will be too much for that Lions defense. I'm taking the Bills. Week 16 versus the Bears, like I said, I think the Bears with Caleb Williams is better. They brought in Keenan Allen, and I think Bears will usually play good versus the Lions, so I think they're split. Then Week 17 versus the Niners, rematch of the NFC Championship game, but I think the um, Niners have a better scheme than the Lions, so I'm going to take the Niners here. Then Week 18 versus the Vikings, like I said, I don't trust the Vikings at all, so I'm taking the Lions. So Indianapolis, the Lions going 11-6, 14 in the division, 7-2 at home, and 4-4 away.